Hello everybody, Connor here, and welcome back to another episode of Gaming Retrospective. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most popular games of all time, Wii Sports. If you lived in the early 2000s, you know about this game. Back in the day, everybody had a Wii, and that meant everybody had a copy of Wii Sports. Wii Sports is a compilation of 5 different sports: tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing. When Nintendo was first working on the Wii, they created numerous tech demos to test out the capabilities of the Wii Remote. These tech demos were split up into 2 groups: sports minigames that mainly used the motion controls of the remote, and family-oriented games that took advantage of the pointer. The sports minigames were compiled to create Wii Sports, and the other minigames were used for the game Wii Play. Before E3 2006, Nintendo announced Wii Sports Tennis and announced it would be a part of a package that would include tennis, golf, and baseball. The other sports were showcased during E3, and they were titled similar to the previous announcement. You had Wii Sports Baseball, Wii Sports Golf, and Wii Sports Airplane. At this stage, baseball was just a batting cage simulator compared to the pitcher's hand style that's in the finished game. You're also probably wondering what Wii Sports Airplane is. This was similar to the game Pilot Wings, where you fly through rings. This ended up getting pulled from the final game. The Wii was released on November 19, 2006, and Wii Sports was bundled in with the console. It was a pack-in game for the console in every region except for Japan, but this wasn't always going to be the case. The president of Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, wanted to bundle the game with the console, but the global president at the time, Iwata, opposed the idea. He told Reggie that Nintendo doesn't give any content away for free. Miyamoto suggested that they could bundle Wii Play with the console instead. Reggie turned down this idea because he felt like the content in Wii Play was not as cohesive as Wii Sports, and in the following months Iwata changed his mind and Wii Sports was able to be bundled with the console in the US. And Wii Play ended up being bundled with a Wii Remote. This was proven to be successful. Wii Sports was a perfect pack-in game for the Wii. The console was marketed towards the casual audience, and bundling it with Wii Sports made it an instant hit among everyone. Wii Sports also utilizes the Wii's avatar characters, the Miis. It made the game a lot more engaging. There was something so special about creating yourself in the Mii Maker and then using it in the game. It was also fun seeing all of the random Miis on your console playing on your baseball team. You're also able to track your skill points through the Miis and can level up to pro level for each sport after earning 1,000 skill points. Getting pro level in bowling unlocks a special ball, and in boxing you get silver boxing gloves. When you load up the game for the first time, you get a menu where you can choose which sport to play. The first game is tennis, and it's one of my favorites. This is just your basic tennis, but it works so well with the Wii Remote. The computer controls the movement of the player, and you just have to worry about swinging the Wii Remote. You can choose from a single game, a best of 3 match, and a best of 5 match, and you're able to choose between playing against a computer or just another person. Tennis is definitely one of my favorites. I feel like it's the most consistent out of the 5 sports. When you boot up tennis, you know what you're getting with it. New players could also pick up the game and easily understand it without a tutorial. Many people look back on tennis and think of it as their favorite sport, but I feel like the majority of players, including myself, prefer the next sport a little bit more. Wii Bowling is easily the most popular sport in this collection. It's also my personal favorite and the one I have the most memories playing. Wii Bowling is probably the closest sport in the package that resembles the actual sport the most. The controls are phenomenal, the motion is similar to actual bowling, which makes it a lot of fun. One thing I really loved about bowling was that you get a special ball once you reach the pro level for this game. There was nothing better than showing it off for friends and flexing your pro status. Another thing I really like is the environment. Obviously the game takes place in a bowling alley, but there's Miis from your Mii Plaza and Mii Parade sitting in the background and bowling in the lanes around you. Things like this make a simple sports minigame collection really immersive. One thing I never knew as a kid is that you could change the color of the ball. All you gotta do is hold down one of the directions on the D-pad, up for blue, left for red, down for green, and right for yellow. Bowling also features hot seat multiplayer, which means you could pass along the Wii Remote and use one controller for each player. Another favorite of mine is baseball. Before owning Mario Super Sluggers, I put so much time into Wii Sports Baseball. I like the fact that the teams were made up from the Miis you've created. It made me really happy to see the only way I could ever play baseball with a hamburger is through Wii Sports. This is another sport where the AI takes over for the motion and your focus is only on swinging the bat and pitching. Running the bases and fielding is all done by the computer, which is a little lame. Tennis has options to do best out of 3 or 5. I wish baseball did a similar thing with the innings, but you're stuck with just 3. Overall, baseball lacks a little depth, but it's something you could easily play with anyone and it makes for a good time despite being a bit basic. Golf is next, and it's probably the one I play the least. There's 3 difficulties for golf: beginner, intermediate, and expert, with 3 holes for each, making a total of 9 holes. You also get a set of 4 golf clubs: a putter that hits up to 30 yards, a wedge that hits up to 75 yards, an iron that hits up to 115 yards, and a driver that hits up to 205 yards. This is another sport that utilizes the hot seat multiplayer, so if you only have one remote, you're able to play multiplayer with no issues. Golf is overall a good time, and it's definitely grown on me throughout the years. Is it the most boring out of the 5? Yes, but it still makes for a great time. The last sport in this collection is boxing, and it's the only one that utilizes the nunchuck. I remember not being allowed to play this one for a bit because my parents were scared I'd put a hole in their TV. And I probably would have. I remember there being a huge stigma about the Wii and how many people threw the remote into their TVs. I've never seen it happen during boxing though. It was more common in bowling and tennis. Anyway, boxing may not be too special in multiplayer, but it really shines through single player. There's a list of opponents you go up against, from the starters like Ryan all the way to the champion Matt. You go up to the next opponents through your skill point level. As a kid, the furthest I ever got to was Marco, but I'm hoping someday I'll get the courage one day to face up against Matt. This aspect alone makes boxing so fun because you actually have to master the game to get to the top. You go from spamming punches to dodging and becoming strategic with your movements. Aside from the sports, you also have a training mode and a fitness mode. For the training mode, there's a total of 3 minigames for each sport, making 15 minigames total. You can get different medals like bronze, silver, gold, and platinum based on how well you perform in the minigames. For tennis, you got returning balls as the first minigame. This one has a computer player on the other side of the net, and your goal is to hit the ball over the net and make it inside the court. Once you hit 10 serves, you move closer to the net, and once you hit 5 close up, you move back. Over time, the server will speed up and toss more serves at you, which can get very chaotic. The next minigame is timing your swing. This one has a similar premise as the previous game, but now you'll have to hit the ball through a special orange force field, and over time the force field will get narrower and narrower. The last minigame for tennis is target practice. Targets appear on the wall, and the goal is to break the targets with the ball. For bowling, the first minigame is picking up spares. In this one, your goal is to knock down all the pins on all 20 lanes, but you only get 5 chances to clear the lanes. The next minigame is power throws. In this one, your goal is to knock down as many pins as you can. There's also an Easter egg hidden in the game. On the 91 pin lane, if you roll the ball on either one of the rails, it will hit a small button and knock down all of the pins. The last minigame is spin control. Your goal is to hit the single pin at the end of the lane, and there's a bunch of obstacles in the way, so it can get a bit difficult. Moving on to baseball, the first minigame is hitting home runs, and the objective is pretty much in the title. You just gotta see how many home runs you can get. The pitcher only throws 10, so you have to see how many and how far you can get. The second minigame is swing control. In this one, your goal is to hit the balls in the shaded area. The darker the area, the more points you get. This helps teach the player how to control the direction of the ball. The last minigame is batting practice. In this one, you get 30 pitches and you have to hit as many as you can. The challenge with this one is that the pitcher can throw speed balls and curveballs. The first minigame in golf is putting. For this one, you have to putt your golf ball into the hole. You get 5 chances to finish all 10 holes. The next minigame is hitting the green. In this one, your objective is to get as close as you can to the hole without getting in. And the last minigame is target practice. There's 2 targets visible, and your goal is to get the highest score by hitting the targets. Finally, the boxing minigames. The first minigame is working the bag. In this one, you have to hit the punching bags until they become weak. Each one is colored to show the difficulty. Brown is the easiest, silver is the middle, and black is the hardest. The second minigame is dodging. In this one, Matt throws tennis balls at you and your goal is to dodge them. The more you dodge, the higher the score, and Matt can throw 2 at once or just throw them faster or throw them slower. The last minigame is throwing punches. The goal is to hit Matt's gloves with the right arm to score points, and if you hit Matt in the face, you end up losing points. Overall, the training minigames are a lot of fun. They're simple, but they bring out a lot of replayability to the game. It's a lot of fun trying to get the platinum medals because many of them are really challenging. The fitness mode on this game also uses the training minigames to test the player's speed, stamina, and strength. The game determines your fitness age on a scale of 20 to 80. The test can only be taken once a day per me. I've only done this a couple times. It's not too crazy, but it's a fun side mode and it's interesting to see what age you get. But besides that, that's Wii Sports. It's one of, if not the best casual video games of all time. Anyone could play it. There's a reason why the Wii's so popular in retirement homes and for families. Almost everyone has fond memories of this game. The Wii is by far one of the best consoles of all time, and Wii Sports helped solidify this spot. Nintendo has made many follow-ups to Wii Sports on the Wii and Wii U and are still making them today with Nintendo Switch Sports, which made many improvements on the formula. Because of this, I'm gonna have to rate the game a 9 out of 10. I'd recommend it to anyone who hasn't played it, but I know the majority of people already have.